So in case just for those that we miss. So now I think during our last class we've discussed about this and we've linked our style with our CSS, right? And then so sorry, we've linked our CSS with our HTML, and this is the preview of what we've done. Let me try to run it. This is the preview of what we've done so far. So today I will just try to rush as soon as possible so that we just finish everything on time. But let me just use the live server inside my VS Code. Um, Fine. So that instead of it to be minimizing the, so now this is where we stopped, right? So now we've integrated our Mastercard logo, and we've also integrated what?
Sorry,
Okay.
sorry, I wanted to ask this live server, how do you use it? Because my live server only allows me to go to
So I
my
to
web page to stay on the.
okay. What you just have to do, so just come down to your extension and search for live server because I downloaded another version. It's another version. So once you search for live server, you see the one with so this is the one that you are using, the one for Microsoft.
Yes,
This Ritwik day, sorry, and this is the one that me I'm using now. This live server preview. This one.
oh, okay, okay.
So after when you have installed it, so you just come back to your editor. Then you will not shift Control Shift P. This thing will come out. This your angle bracket will come out. Then you not just type for preview. You see show live server preview. Then you click on OK. Is that clear?
Oh,
Is
yes,
that clear
yes,
now?
thank you.
So let me try to
Yes, thank you.
increase this one. Control Shift this one. Let me try to increase this. Can you see it very well now? Can you see this very well, right?
Yes,
Just
yes.
so fine. So now this is where we stopped during our last class, and so now after this our header. So now I've explained that these are called nested elements, right? Now that is this container is inside this body, and this header is inside this container. This logo is inside this and this div class, and we've extended it to a class name called logo, right? And this is where we insert our IMG for the chip, right? So now after this, so what you just have to do now after this, so just come down to this header, this under this header, and let's try to create another div class. Let me use card because now I want to put, let me say card info. Let me use the word card info. Sorry, let me use this just shortcut dot class card info. Then I should press OK. So now it has created a div class for me for the card info. Then under inside this class info, now we have the card this thing that you have the information. We used to have the class number. We used to have the class sorry, the card number. We used to have the what, the names. We used to have what again, the valid date, right? So now what I just have to do now is under this, so let me center, let's also add a class name again inside. So now this one will not just be like a parent. So let me just use let me use I want to name a class. Let's say name, should I name it name number? Let me name it like this, yeah. Let me name something like this. So inside this one now I will now have, let's say H5. Let me use card number so that it will output it card number, right? Then this one, let me duplicate this with shortcut. Then under this, let me have this as okay, let me try to accept this person that's trying to log in. Sorry. So fine. So let me under this my card number, let me use another. Let's just create a random number here. Now, normal ATM card you used to have how many numbers, digits? I think they are up to,
19.
is it 19 or 16?
That's fine.
So it's 16. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yours is 16. 1, 2, 3, 4.
16.
Yes. Let's say 1, 2, or let's just pick random number. 4. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4.
Are you recording the class?
Yes. I'm recording it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ask a question. Oh, this is just a random. Now. Okay. What's the question? Ask a question. So now,
No,
if
I'm really asking about the recording, that's all.
okay, fine. Yes, it's yes, I'm recording it now. You can see now that this one and this card number has been we've output this card number here, but you see now that this thing is the background color is not bringing out the, like, it's not corresponding with our color, which I told you this is one of the essential things that you have to know as a developer. You must know how to use font, you must know how to use color, you must know how to use typography, which will come to that later on. But just for that, now we've output this one now, right? And this one has come out now with this card number. So, but under this, what I just named, what we need under this now, we need what we call, let me say, we need a name. Let me use let's just use her first. Let me use her first tech. Okay, now this is my name now, right? So now let me, because we also start this later on, so, and we don't want these ones to affect all. Like now, I told you one of the reasons why we are adding a class name or an ID name is like if you don't want a particular design to affect the same element. Now, if you are to call this the same element from a CSS, it will affect all the H5. But now, if we don't want it to affect all, then we can now extend it. Let's extend this now to class name. Let's now, this one is number now. Let's extend this one to class, and name is as what? As name. So now what it means now, instead of me to use H5 now, when I'm calling, I'll just say what? Number. Now, instead of me to call this one too, if I'm styling H5, I will just say what's name. So that's the essence of what of us using class number. Please, sorry, class name. Please, are we okay with what I've just explained so far? Please, are we okay?
Yes.
So fine. So now let's now go back to our CSS and style all these ones now. Let's style all this. So during our last class, so we've started styling this, and you see that this one is too big. It's not that okay for us. Let me see. Have we styled our body? Yeah. Okay. Fine. So it's not still okay for us. But this is our container. So okay, now this is where we stopped with our container class, and this is the background image. But you can also download your own depending on the color that you want, and I've shown you on how to download some of the stuffs, right? So you can use your own, the one that you want, and I've explained this maximum width, which I also send you some reference, and why we use the width. So after we've specify the maximum width, the length that we want for our this thing, so now we specify the width that we want inside, right? So now if you now come back to this, you see that now we have this header now, right? And this header now is a parent to this. So now, and we want to call this our what's the name, we want to call we want to style this our what's the name, this our chip, right? So now what you are now to do is that instead of me to, now if I want to, because now this one is too big, if I want to do that, I cannot just add more class to it and say, let's say a class name and name it chip. Name chip. So it means that now I've extended this class, this image now to a chip. That is, if I want to style, I'll just call the chip instead of this image, this icon, right? So now if I should save, and then if I should now go back to my styling, what I just have to do now is I'll just say what? I'll just go, what I do now? I'll just say header, because now why I'm calling header now is because see this one now is under header tag, right? So and I'm targeting this chip. That's what I'm targeting. It is this chip that I'm targeting. So after when I've called this header now, what will I go? I will now say what? Let you use comma. Is that clear? Then what's the name of the class? That's chip, right?
Yes.
Right. So now I cannot say dot chip, or I've even started. So I've even started some up now. Okay, this is one of the logo now. So now this width now is affecting just this img alone. So but for this now, let's say dot what, dot chip.
Um, sorry, I want to ask a question.
Okay.
Why don't you just call the chip?
So now,
Why don't you just take the
so if I should call it again, it can, yes, but I want it to work along with this because this one is a child. So let's assume now there's something that they call relative and absolute link, right? So if you call now, see what will happen now. If I should just call dot chip, it might, let's say dot chip. I say let's say width, right? If I want to say width, and let's no sorry, let me reduce this to 50 pixel and see. You can see now, but this one, the problem now is that if you are styling for your responsiveness, right? So it might affect your other element inside. Please, do you understand now? That's why you just have to make sure that all the parents tag and the child, they are working hand to hand, so that whenever later on if you are styling for the parent, it will affect the child too together. But now you see now that it's working perfectly and everything is going fine. Please, do you have a question now?
That's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, from what I understood, you're saying that if you style the chip different from the header,
Yes.
when you're using on different mobile devices, it might affect the header, yes?
Yes, it's perfect. So just make sure that the parent and the child, they are working hand to hand. Is that clear?
Okay.
So now please, what are the others? Please, is there any question, please? So now, see now what I'm saying now. So now you will now understand what I'm saying now again now. So let me just use that. Now I want these two tags now. Now these two now. I want to style for all of them now. Because like this, since this thing is here, our master card is here, and I want our chip to be here, somewhere here, right? So now how am I going to do it now so that they will work hand to hand? Do you understand? So this is one of the reasons why again that you have to just you just have to make sure that everything is working perfectly. Like you have to make sure the parent and the child, they are working hand to hand. Is that clear? So now, even instead of this now, since this our class now, this now they are inside. So I think something is wrong with our code here. Which tag is this? Okay. Because sorry, I've forgotten that I have enlarged the screen, so that's why. So now, okay, this is tag now. This is tag. Now you see, just check this out now. You see now that this div class now is here, and this another this in outside. This another tag outside. And have you heard of this thing before? What's the name? And have you heard of the span and the div context? What's different between the div tag and the span tag? Please, can someone explain that to me?
I have no idea what that is. I know the gift tag. I have an idea what the gift tag is too.
Okay, okay. What's the essence of that div tag?
It really does not have any semantic meaning, but what I understand that it does is it gives division between different sections in your body.
You see that. So now the difference now between div and the span. So you see the div automatically once you've given a tag a div class, automatically it will occupy all the space of that screen. While for your span, so they can so they will just take the particular space, the available space alone. While the div they will occupy the general space. Now if I've specified div for this image now, it will collect all this what's the name, all this space. Now it will have it, but for span it will just within. Do you understand now? So now if I should just come down to this now, if I should come down to this, and I now say let's first say the header. Let me call the header, and I say dot. Let me just call the logo first. Let me just call the logo.
Sorry, does the span use the class syntax?
Yes, you can also extend. See any tag that you see, any tag, even though it is empty element, you can extend it with a class or an ID. Is that clear? Any tag that has opening and closing, or the one without closing, that's the empty tags.
Yeah.
You can extend it with a class or an ID sector. I'm sorry, class. Please, is that clear?
Yes.
So now I want just come down here now. Let me cancel this back. So I want this one. I sent you something about flex, and which I believe that you must have read it. If I say flex now, then if I should just say align this item for me to be what, to be at the center. Then after when you've aligned them, then I want you to justify them. That is the content within this, to now put space between for me. Just put if I should save this, see what happened here now. Can you see what happened here now? That this thing now is trying to justify the content for me now, and bring this. Now it has made this one to be this side, and this one to be to this side. Please, do you understand now?
No, really. Sorry.
Now, any question, please?
Okay, so the align items, I thought it's supposed to work on the cross axis, right? And put it at the center.
The what? This what?
The align items will align the align item center.
Yes, center.
Align the chips
Yes,
on the cross axis
that is.
center.
This is what I'm trying to tell you without parent and child. Now, because now, if you should come back to our index, you say that the header is the parent to all this, right? So now, and the available space for this header, now the meaning of flex is that it should divide the amount of space within that tag. It should divide all to equal parts. Is that clear? So that's what happened here. So now the available space for the header tag. So that's what happened. Now if I should go, you know what? Let me just use this. I don't want us to come back to this, but I just have to do it now. If I should inspect this now, because we also come down, we will also come to this later on. If I should come down, see now, if I should over my this thing here, you have seen the available space given to our what's the name, to header. You have seen it. Then if you see this, just look at the center here. You see a line. You see a line within, right? That is like it has divided that thing for you into equal parts. Now, if you have three things inside this, you see how it will also divide it. Now, see what will happen now. let me try to add something else inside this again. Let me try to add. Let me add. Let me write image. Also, let me also add one image. Also, let me put one image so that you try to understand. Let me put this one so that you try to understand. Yeah, but it's too big. 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 Let me use another one. If I should use another chip, that one too will also be. Let me use this MasterCard if not too big. That one too also big. But if I should come down to this, let me just try to reduce the image, the size. Let me say header. Let me try to reduce the header. Let's say image. Let me put or let me just target all the images straight. Image, and then all this. Let's say width of what? Let's say 50 pixel. See what happened here now, again, go. Can you see what I'm trying to say here now? You see that now that the flex has divided the ability space now into 3 different. So that's why as you are adding content, as you are adding, you will see that what the computer will be dividing it according to equal parts automatically. Do you understand the flex now? How it's working? And you can do that vertically and horizontally depending on what you want. Like now, for example, now we used to have navigation menu, right? And our navigation menu is within. Like someone is trying to join. Is someone trying to join? Okay, no one. So you will see now that this one is horizontal, right? So if you want the vertical one, like if you are designing for your, let's assume like you are creating for your navigation, the one that where you create something that we call Ninebot, that hamburger. Once you click on it, that you see a menu that will pop out, something like that. You see that, so you can also use flex to achieve that too also. Please, but hope you have understood what flex means here now. So we just use this to specify a layout, like in a grid format or in a horizontal format or in a vertical format. Please, do you understand now? So as I add the content, you will see that it will be put it for you equally to the same part. But let me go back to this. Please, do we understand this? Please, any question, please?
Okay, so let's go on.
No. Ask a question, no, please. Please ask question. Please ask question.
I'm still trying to get the flex thing because I
Okay.
don't understand the flex stuff.
So now, you will see that now. Let me assume that have you worked on? Have you seen a platform whereby you see? Let's say you see button here. That let's assume now that you have login button, you have sign up button, right? And then you have forgotten password button, right? So you see now, if 3 things now, if you have 3 boxes now, one here, you have another box here, you have another box here. So now, see in layout in web, we have different formats. You can achieve it with grid. You can you can achieve it with flex. The depending on what you want, depending on how this. So anything like what I've even said during our introduction class, that in computer you don't argue. So now if you are asked now that once you've seen someone doing something new, you are just expected to ask that person that how did that person achieve that, because in computer we have different formats in solving problems. The only thing that you just have to do is that is your own more sufficient than the other people. That's the only thing. That's the only difference. Let's just assume this, like you are given a task that the first person to enter this house will be rewarded. Just let's just assume that someone said that the first person to enter this house will be rewarded. You see now, believe me, there are some people that will enter that door through door. There are some people that will enter that house through windows. There are some people that will enter that house through even roof. So that's how computer used to work. You will be given a task, but you have different format. You have different approach depending on the only thing that you will just be fighting for is that it's your own more sufficient than others. It's your own more faster than others. Is that clear? So likewise, this system, what I've done here now, it is just because of time. I would have used another format again, like maybe grid, for you to see how we can say achieve these things too with another format. But just assume a flex to be like something that wants to present a layout for you, and that layout you want them to have what equal part, the to have equal size, the equal height, the equal weight. That's why if you are looking at this place, you see that this one too is corresponding straight to this. There's so that's what we call responsiveness, and that's what we also call UI UX, user experience. Just assume that you want to start a button, and one button is here, and another button is somehow little like down, like it's little below that one. You see that it's not that corresponding to each other, but with this flex format, with this techniques, you see that they have the same height. If you check this, if you can draw a line, you see that it will align with this. The down one too will also align with this down one. Is that clear? So that's, see, these are just techniques, and I think what I'm just trying to do again to ease all our understandings with all this project is that I'm trying to be doing each topic like now, and I've started with some which I will also share with you guys later on, and which I will also advise you guys to be watching. I want to be explaining one topic each. You know that this is a project format, and this project will just be like, we will assume that at least you have a basic in all everything, at least a basic. So here we are just to implement. Do you understand? But with that little like one topic which I will be explaining later on, like maybe today, I'm just explain just only box model today. Tomorrow just only form. Next tomorrow just one topic so that it will ease your understanding later. But believe me, this is just the best approach to learn anything programming now. If you want to learn anything in technology, it's advisable like you should learn it through project phase, because a lot of programmers, after you've learned different syntax, you've learned variables, all these data types, but now if you now want to implement it in a real life project, you won't now know how to do that. So that's why you people like, because you tend to be just learning concept. But now then during your life project, you will never think that then all these things that I've learned now, all these variables, all these data types, that how can I implement it in real life project? What is the position will I position it to? So that's the why most of you are getting it very difficult to do hands-on projects now. It's that clear now, please. So please just assume now that if you want to achieve a format like a layout, let's say in a grid form or horizontal form, to have the same height, width, so just know that you can use a flex to achieve that. Now there's some website again. I think let me use one website again so that
No, I
you
think I understand now.
let me just use one website again so that what can I use, or what can I use, or let can I use let me show you one. What, someone should tell me any website please, so that I would just use as example. Let's use coming there's one website coming to my head. Let me use let me see this ALX. If if you see a flex format, and please believe me, as you are training yourself, you are practicing, you will reach to an extent that even from you looking at a mere website, you will be able to interpret that particular that thing. No, this one doesn't have it. This one doesn't have the let me see. Aha, you see this now. See these boxes now. You see this box here. This one too. See this one too. So this also, you can also achieve this with a flex. You see that this one is bigger than these two. You will see that these two now, they are more of like equal. height equal size width height, and this one is somehow the width is somehow bigger, right? So now this thing now you can achieve it with height. Sorry, with flex. Is that clear now?
I understand.
So no, fine, fine, fine. Yeah, but our time is fast approaching, and this time is going. Uh, let me see our. Let me see my. What is this? My time. Okay, we have 28 minutes. So now back to our styling. So now if I should now come down to this now, and I think this image is okay for me. So now what I just have to do now is that let me also call for this h5 so that you get, you know that I have h5 here now, right? I have h5 here, right? But now you see what will happen now. Let me just try. Now I have this h5, I have this where again. I think that's all. Just these three. Now let me now target that h5. Let's say h5. Don't let me use the class name first now. See what will happen. And let me first try to change the font size. Let's say font size. Let's change to 50 pixel for them to have for the font to increase a little bit. Then let me now change the let me change the color. Let me put color. Now let me change it. I think white will go with what? White will go with our this thing, right? White will go with blue. Let's save and see. I think, can you see that now?
Yes.
You see that like white is going with blue. So now see what will happen here now. After you see now that I have extended this h5 class to number, right? But now I called just h5 and it affected all. So now I now want to style for this one only. Now you see that there's some space within this. There's space within this, and I want a space to be. I want to have some spacings, like within.
Sorry, at the first, let me just ask you this.
Okay.
Let's assume, for
Now.
example, let's say, now I know this does not necessarily apply to you, but if I wanted to style this h5 now, if I wanted to put them in a flex, and I use a similar format to what you did the other time. So what that means is that all this, the card number, when you look at number, then the numbers and the first state will be on the same line horizontally, right?
Okay, now yes, fine, thank you. Now, if you want to use flex now for this, but don't forget, I told you that flex can be horizontal or vertical, right? So let's assume that this is vertical, right? But if you want this number to be here, and this first to be at the head, to be on the same line, you can use flex, the same method. Now since this one now they are inside div, now they are inside one div, you just come down this and just call this what? Just call this name number. Just call the name number, then display flex, align, center, justify content space between. You will see that they will all have the same like this. Or can we do that? So now let's just call let's just call this alone. Let's call this our card info. Let's just come down here and say what? Dot card info, right? Then I say display flex. I say what? Align items, right? Align items. Also what? Center. Then I say justify contents, also space between. See what will happen now. I will save it. So this one I'm calling card info. Is it correct with our own? Card info dot card info. Let me save this one too. The flex is not working. What's the problem? Okay. Sorry. Let me call the header. Okay. Oh, you see now this is the parent again. So now let's call it under. I think they're still under header, right? No, they're not under header. They're under container here now. This one now they are. See now, this one is parent to container. Is that clear now? So now let's now for the CSS2, like they are more of like order. Now let's just try to put our container first. Let's try to put our container here. Let's say dot let's say dot container. It's not seen again. Okay, let me save. What's the problem?
Could it be that there's not enough space?
No. Even though there's no enough space, automatically it will like it will generate it by itself. Do you understand, Go? Do you understand? I'm coming. Let me try to see what's happening. Let me try to see. I'm coming. Let me try to put so that let me try to put this inside this header and see. Let me try to let me say the card number. Sorry, let me change it to card number. Card number. Okay, it's not seen. So let me put this inside. Let me put this thing
It's
now.
not card number, it's name number.
Okay, sorry, name number. See what happened here now? Can you see that now? So it means that okay, this way I'm okay, this one I'm calling. Okay, this is just the parent. Okay, yeah. Okay, that's what happened. Now see what happened here now again. The available space now is because of this, and again I'm coming. This is because of our screen. Can you see that now? How it divided this now into 3 equal parts?
But sorry, but
Okay.
this is what I was asking. I think that you can just call that class directly without calling parents.
But why is not? But it's not that professional because sometimes it will affect you later on in your if you are start, like what I told you. There's something that they call responsiveness. Hmm?
Yeah.
So and the responsiveness means that it starts to adapt with all screens, like your pad, what's the name, your laptop, the like we have the modern mini computers called they are 5, right? Or is it 4? The modern mini computers that we have, the first one is desktop. So now your product must be aligning with the desktop screen one. After desktop, we have laptops. So it must go. It must be responsive. It must be user friendly with the people using what laptop. After laptop, we have what we call tablet. So now after tablet, we now have what mobile phones. So now you see these four gadgets, these four this thing that you have. So now if you are designing any product, it's either website or software you have to be designing for all these four things. That is, the product should adapt with the screen. Now you see how you are viewing this now. Let me just show you one. I think because of time, let me just use this to explain this, and then you can just let me just use this now. This responsiveness. If you have come to this, let me assume now that I'm using BlackBerry now. So this is how it will look. It will look like someone using BlackBerry. You see, go. Let me change it to Samsung, or let me change it to a larger screen so that
iPod.
iPad. No, I want a very small screen that you see what will happen. Let this. What? Let me just use this to reduce the screen. No, sorry. Let me use this 50%. No, please. Let me change this. Let me use this one. So what will happen is, you see, as
Okay.
so if I should drag this screen now, someone that is using this screen now, see what the person will be seeing. Let's assume now like someone is using Java phone. This Java phone. So what will happen? So now how are you going to sign up for it to be adaptive with this? So you have to style for this also. Don't worry. So you will learn how to use this. See this one, this screen that you are seeing alone. This is all they called DevTools. So you must know how to use it as a developer. There's no how you. So if you are a developer, it's either software, web, or anything. You must know how to use these DevTools. Is that clear? So which we also come to that later. Please, any question, we've already exhausted our time, and I want us to finish this. Please, are we sure we will come to class by 8:30 dot tomorrow?
Yes.
Because I want us to start portfolio tomorrow, please.
Yes, but so now, based on responsiveness, now we're supposed to style that particular class with the
Don't
parents.
worry, don't worry, because this one it's not complex. Yeah, it's not complex. So automatically, like you see all these browsers that you are seeing, they have their own algorithms too. Hmm? So they have their own predefined one, the one that they've already created for them. Hmm? So now, because this one it's not a complex project, because what I intended to do before is that we will just be creating a mini project. Like now, today, like let's assume like tomorrow now we might just create a navigation menu bar. Like tomorrow, like next project footer. Then we will create some sections. Then we will create some header, like just like small mini projects. After when you've now mastered all, then we will now try to bring all together in a bigger project. But because this one now is not a big project now that you are seeing, this thing is not a big project. So and it doesn't just require that responsiveness a lot. So but that's why I say that I want my our next project to be like a portfolio, because portfolio will be a very complex project, which it will requires a lot of things. Now you have to have header, you have footer, you have section, you have article, you have different things in that portfolio, right? So that's why, and definitely that one we have to define, you have to design for the responsiveness. So that's why I particularly want us to design that our portfolio in our next project. Please, do you understand now?
Yes.
But this one doesn't require. But if you still wish, so we can still do that so that you just understand. But with the next project that we intend to do next, don't worry, it will cover everything. And we just have to, and I want us to achieve this within 2 weeks. And I don't know how, because it's a very complex project, but I don't know how we can achieve that within 2 weeks. That is, we just have just only 4 meetings and let's say like 4 hours. Okay, like someone started to talk, Mr. Mushafa Uko.
Yes, sir.
Okay, there's
Well,
question.
I want to ask, how are you going to arrange all those logos?
Don't
All
worry,
those
you know what? Because of time, our time will soon be off. Our time will soon be off. Don't worry. In our next
Okay.
class, just try to, like today. I want us to finish everything today. But don't worry. In our next class, we'll see how we can watch it in the next like the first 20 minutes. And don't forget, I want us to host this on our GitHub account, so that if you want someone to now see your project that you've done, instead of you now, how are you going to make it accessible now online? So that's what I will now also teach you on how to create a random link, just a small link that you can use, that you can generate for yourself, and then you can share it as a link that it will have www.com, something in .com, right? So that you can also just share it to someone. And these are things that your recruiters will be asking of. So no one, I used to tell you in tech, no one will ask you for your education, your everything. The only thing that they will be asking you of is your portfolio. That is, what are the things that you've done. So why I precisely want us to do that portfolio is because like any project that we will be doing now, you will just be uploading it on that portfolio. Is that clear? Do you understand now?
Yes, sir, we understand.
So that's what. So just make sure that tomorrow that you come online on time by 8:30. Please, any more question, please, before we call it. An hour. I wish we can finish this project, but our time will soon be up. Can we, as just like 2 hours tomorrow? Even if you finish one, then we'll create another link. Are we okay with that?
Yes, sir.
Because I just want us to achieve this portfolio, but it's a very complex project, very complex, and it's because I don't want to introduce what we call frameworks to you guys. So I want you guys to be familiar a lot with your HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. before moving to frameworks, so that you will tend to understand. You can learn a framework within a week, but once you've mastered the core language, you will see that the frameworks are very, very easy, very, very easy. But people now, they so that's why we Africans, we are not innovative. We are not innovators, because we tend to be moving towards something that are more easier. So, and you can't compare yourself with someone that knows what the origin of that thing, the root of that particular thing, than you that will just go and learn the simpler method, and then you just. But there's no point with that, because the outcome of everything that you are doing in computing, it's just only result. We just want result. But believe me, you won't be that innovative. You won't be that. You you won't able to compare your skills with someone that learned the core language. That's why I want us to focus more on the language first. After then, we will now move down to the frameworks, which is more easier, and you will even be able to debug any project that you have, any project. Please, are we clear now? So, is there any question? In the absence of that, so
Okay.
tomorrow we meet.
Sorry.
Okay.
So just for clarity's sake now, like for example, this last one we did with Inflex. You know, you said that it's not be responsive because we didn't call um the parent element. What I
No,
wanted
no,
to
no, no.
understand is
Don't don't get me wrong. Don't forget, this is just a simple project. Just a simple project. Me, I'm just talking about the complex one that you will be doing later on. Hmm? You see, parent and child, they are somehow working together. Why I'm saying that is that there are some styling that you just want it to affect just let me do this. There are some stylings that you just want it to affect just only child. Hmm? And there are some stylings that you want to affect the parent. And once they say something is parent, once it has affected that parent, automatically it will affect all the child behind that, under it. Hmm? Like how we called for this now for this, what's the name, this flex now.
the header.
We want this flex to affect the header, because they are inside header, all these two. Now let me just use this one as example, so that you will tend to understand why. Let's assume now this image now it's inside this logo now. Then I cannot say that it's not compulsory for me to call this header, this parent.
Mm.
Now, because now this now is now outside div. So now if you now should call this logo alone, it will affect just only the content within this logo alone. Do you understand now? But I want the flex to affect all the thing inside that header. Hmm? So that's why I call the parents, then the what the what's the name, the child. Please, do you understand now? If you want a particular design to affect all at once, that's why you now call the parent child. But if you want it to just only that child alone, that's what it will affect. Then that's what you can now call it. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
But it can still work like that too. But just that me that's not just my own way of styling, because sometimes, and again, one of the reasons why again is it is because you're like there's one thing that you have to know as a developer on how to minimize code. Hmm? It's even because we are just I'm just trying to what to explain while coding. To me, this all these codes, they are somehow long for me. Yeah, they are just too long. See, I'm calling H5 H. There's a now see header here, see logo here, see I'm see, like it's like they are somehow long. There is a way you can just minimize the code and just once. So that's the essence of that your parents and child nested element. Do you understand? You must know how to minimize codes. But don't worry, this is just beginning, and you will tend to understand it more later as we move further. But let's I will just advise before we call it a day. Please and please, you see now that people are somehow relenting, and believe me, this is one of the things that used to kill my morale. I've started a lot of things before, and I've noticed and I've studied a lot of people. People would think that they love something, but they don't love it. Believe me, because people are not ready to suffer for something. They are not ready to. They just believe that They just think that someone doing great, that maybe that person just woke up and started doing great. It's not like that. People are just outside there to just see something that is just something gleamy, something just sweet, but they don't want to suffer. They don't want to how will I even put it? They don't want to pass through that phase for you to become that what you want. Believe me, if you see, before I started this thing, a lot of people have been disturbing me that this. And you see, the first week, people will try to respond. From second week, third week, they'll start relenting. And see now, this is what is happening now. We have more than 50 people in the platform, and see, just only 3 people. So this is what used to happen. But believe me, but once they've now started seeing you doing amazing things, they say, please, we want this, we want this. But believe me, people, please, what I'll just advise you guys, please, no matter how, let your mindset be straightforward. Always chase for your dreams. What you want, suffer for it. Believe me, just assume like as if you are doing contribution, like you're adding 5 naira. Believe me, with a lot of patience, 5 naira can make up a million. If you are saving 5 naira, 5 naira, it might just take a longer time, but with patience and with a lot of patience, believe me, you will see the outcome. Please practice and make sure you attend class, and make sure we don't know tomorrow. There might be some things that might stop you from attending class. The recording will be there by God's grace. And please just make sure that you just practice there, and make sure you also do research more. We can't teach you anything, and there are a lot of technologies outside there. Just make sure that you do your research. No matter, don't let a day to pass you by. There's something that I've been learning, and if you're the type that used to see my 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 post, now this is my 302 days that I've been learning something, and believe me, and I'm seeing a lot of changes, a lot of amazing things in my life, because that thing I intended to learn it for 1,000 days. That's 3 years plus, and now as for today, I've reached 302 days. It's a challenge that I gave myself, and believe me, it's something that you can also do. Just don't let a day to pass you by without learning something. Is that clear? Believe me, by the day you pack it, you will be surprised that wow, just these small things that I'm doing, and now. So please see you guys tomorrow, and by 8:30, and I pray that we finish this our 8 a.m. on time, because this thing it's not supposed to take like 20 minutes for me. 20 minutes, which I'll be done with everything. But no problem. I think the best thing is for you guys to understand. It's not all about how far, it's how well. That is, as far you people are getting it right, then fine. So see you guys tomorrow by 8:30, and have a nice day. Bye bye.